This week on Rams 360.
The final game of NFL's Week 4 brings us to Santa Clara and Levi Stadium for a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game.
It's where I work out of every morning. I feel very fortunate to be able to wake up and create my art here.
We just got to October, so it's a long season.
We're going to set ourselves up and just keep our heads down, keep grinding. This thing's going to turn around. And, we trusted that, and we were able to make it come to life.
All this and more on Rams 360.
This is the 15th play of the drive. 4 runs, 10 passes. Second and goal.
Cooper was always someone who could get open consistently and catch the ball consistently.
This is a nice pin too. Does this need to stay here? It does? Is it really? Hey Rams Nation, this is Cooper Kupp, my wife Anna. Really glad to be coming back to Los Angeles, be here in the long haul. It's just going to be an incredible ride. Can't wait to get back at it.
You go back to the 17 Senior Bowl, most of the guys that he's going to be going against are going to be in the NFL, or at least have a shot. And guess what he did? He got open and caught the ball, and like always became probably a quarterback favorite because getting open, catching the ball. He's a bigger person than you might think. He's a lot stronger person than you might think. That's why he's going to break the tackle just about every single time he catches the ball. He can separate, and he's got an elite ability to change direction. When you add all of that up, there's Cooper Kupp. What do we call it? Triple crown winner. That's the ingredients.
Being able to earn the Triple Crown this year was an incredible honor. It's something that I don't take lightly. The work that it takes across the board, coaches, every single player that I step on that field with.
Oh, he had 10 yards of separation. He brings it in.
To be in this kind of an offense, to be on this kind of a team, it's an incredible honor that I don't take lightly.
Stafford going for it all. He's got a wide open man. It's Cooper Kupp who gets free.
The big thing about last year, there's a lot of statistical stuff that people are looking at, but for me, it's not about getting more yards. It's not about getting more catches, more touchdowns. It's not about that as much as it is being a better football player. I want to be a better football player than I was the year before. Somehow, as I've warmed up, I've gotten slower, so that's not ideal when it comes to speed training. There's a lot of things I think across the board that I want to be better at. Generically, bigger, stronger, faster. If I be bigger, stronger, faster than I was before, the best way to get faster is to run fast. All the stuff you do in the weight room, out in the field in terms of the speed work, that just kind of supplements to whatever your skill work is. If my skill work's not there, it doesn't matter how big, how fast, how strong I am. The most important thing is the skills that you play with that ultimately you put to use when you're on the football field.
Coop, congrats on the win first off. I wanted to ask you, obviously OBJ went down in the first half. You and Matt Stafford essentially took over the game on that game-winning drive when you couldn't really get anything else going. How did you and Matt just kind of accomplish that and get down to the end zone and score that game-winning touchdown?
So catching that second touchdown, you're in this place where you're excited because you just got the opportunity, you just went up in the Super Bowl.
This is the 15th play of the drive. Second and goal. Pass. Got it. Touchdown.
We're able to put the team ahead, but the game's not over. That's the mindset. That was kind of always going through my head initially. It's just like, as soon as the catch happens, like, great, we're up, but it's not over. Someone's got to go out there and make a great play for us, and you saw the defense go out and did their thing.
Burrow trying to keep it going, gets spun down, gets it away, and incomplete.
And guess who?
The Rams were built to win the Super Bowl, and they have sealed the deal.
No play's too big, no situation is too big. You just get to go out there and do your job because you know you've prepared the right way. All right, last sprint here. You know, one of the big things from last year was the importance of trusting in your process. There's things that went wrong during the course of our season, things that go wrong in the course of a game. There's going to be wins, there's going to be losses. We go on a 3-game losing streak. The process didn't change. You just trust that this is what we do, this is what we're about. We're going to set ourselves up. We just keep our heads down, keep grinding. This thing's going to turn around. And you know, we trusted that, and we were able to make it come to life.
What's up, Rob?
Yeah. Let's go.
My wife, Kira, always says, don't use the word unique unless it's unique. And she would say unique means there's probably only one. His drive is unique.
I want to be a better football player than I was the year before. It might not be reflected in the statistical production. When you watch the film, I want to say I am better now than I was the year previous. Preparation's gonna set me up to just be the best that I can be. So now I just get to follow my checklist of things. Now we move forward. You know, you take the off season, refine those things. What things need to be more efficient at? What things you can do in your process to make you that much better, and then you just live by that day after day.
Coming up next on Rams 360.
It's always been used as my therapy, and I really believe in the artwork that I'm creating because it's helped me heal. My name is Mr. B Baby. I'm an artist, a muralist, a toy designer, and a mother. We are here at my studio/house where I work out of. Every morning I feel very fortunate to be able to wake up and create my art here. Chula Vista is where I grew up, and it's a big part of who I am. It's a border town, so it was very culturally diverse, and I got to really experience the rich culture right next to Tijuana, Mexico, and I was fortunate to be able to cross and go to Mexico very often, and so it played a big role in who I am today and the artwork that I create. Growing up with my mom, she was a single mom, a working mom, and she always taught me the importance of independence and of being able to follow your dreams. And she always pushed for me to be an artist because she saw that in me. Even when I strayed and tried to go a different path, she pushed me back into the path of my art. A lot of the artwork I create is inspired by my Mexican and Puerto Rican culture. Growing up, I didn't really get to see that much representation happening in kids' books and movies and toys, and so I want to provide that through my art. So I went to college and I studied illustration, and after that I went through a hard time and I went down a dark path, and art was really what helped me cope and what helped me pull me out of it, and it's always been used as my therapy, and I really believe in the artwork that I'm creating because it's helped me heal. Mental health was always something that I struggled with from when I was a young kid. The reason why I create the characters that I create and use the colors that I use is for my main purpose, which is to bring joy and happiness to people. So I've created this character, Chucho, that I paint and incorporate in most of my artwork. And Chucho is a piñata, and piñatas are obviously meant to be broken. I heard a story about piñatas first originated by being filled with seeds and held over the garden, and you would break it so the seeds would spread and the plants would grow. And I just really connected to that story because in my life and my struggles, I feel like through all of the hardships, it really made me grow and become the person that I've become today. And so he's my reminder that through the hard times, we'll get through it and grow stronger. It's really important through my art to show people, young kids, especially young girls, that anything is possible. It's something my mom always taught me, and something that I want to convey, that whatever path you decide to follow, when you put in your heart and your dedication, that, you know, your dreams can come true. So I'm working on 2 projects for the Rams. One, I'm painting these bull sculptures in collaboration with El Torito to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. And I will also be doing a mural off of Central for the Rams. And it's really cool to see that they're working with local Latino artists. What I love about murals is that they're in the public, for the public, and for everybody to see. And so what's important about murals is, especially ones that are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, is just to, you know, to have a voice and to put it out there for everybody to see and to celebrate. And it's like a gift to the community. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story and coming to my studio to check out my art.
Coming up next on Rams 360.
I do think what you continue doing is navigating, right? How are we evolving? Where are we at? What are we strong at? What are we not as strong at?
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for spending part of your Tuesday with us. My name is JB, along with my broadcast partner, DeMarco Farr, and this is the GM Les Snead Show, and it's a Week 5 edition, preparing for the Dallas Cowboys coming off the loss in Santa Clara against the 49ers. It's a short week, and unfortunately, Les, this is a familiar position that we put you in, seemingly year after year. We need to see you on different terms.
Yes. Can you fill in the audience why this is familiar?
Well, when it is a short week, and recently the Rams have had some tough Monday Night Football affairs, Les comes in to help us cover the Coach McVay Show, and we'd like to see you after a win.
We're about 0 for our last. I quit counting.
I know.
Really? You come on after a Monday night loss?
Yes.
I had never even factored that in. Wow. Really? That's got to stink.
Toughness.
It is. You talk about being anti-fragile or having some panic rules. Is this another one of those moments for you and the organization?
I was panicking, tried to avoid it, but Artis was kind enough to, get me to the couch.
Sure. This, of course, is prime for an overreaction type of day, as we do get into the Coach McVay Show, as always presented by Microsoft Surface. Glad to have our special guest, Les Snead. How should the Rams feel about being 2-2 at what is normally the quarter pole of the season?
2-2 feels like 2-2, right? It's maybe not necessarily 1-3, a little more panic mode. Not necessarily 3-1. I always do the math like this: if you're 1-3, you got to win 3 straight to be above 500. If you're 3-1, you got to lose 3 to be below 500. But when you're 2-2, you're a game away from either. But that's our reality. And like anything, we just got to October, so it's a long season. Not there yet. Still trying to find ourselves, navigating, new players, new pieces, injuries, things like that. But we've done that every year. And we're going to continue to do it.
Why would you overreact to a game like that when you're on the road facing a really good defense with your 4th starting offensive line, and they're getting to your quarterback? Why would that be an overreaction?
No, I don't think it's an overreaction. I think it was a game. I think Sean said it in the locker room. I mean, they're one of the top defenses, maybe the top statistically in the NFL, playing that way at home. So you knew it was going to be a grinded out game. I think they've probably been a defense that maybe have let's call it caused offenses to go 3 and out more than any defense in the NFL this year. We were able to sustain some drives. We won the time of possession. We were able to get first downs, move some change. They're tough yards. They're not pretty sometimes. I think what hurt us along the way, right, we didn't capitalize getting inside the 10 twice. One time you're on the 9. So that's a long. So point being, you shouldn't overreact to that. That's a quality team. And the overreaction comes, right, as you had the ball at the end, driving to maybe tie. And you don't go, 4 and out. You throw a pick 6. So I think that emotionally you got to get over that.
Mm-hmm. How do you find the line between being patient enough to allow this coaching staff to work with the existing players to make the improvements they need to get you back on track versus attacking a day like today with the urgency that maybe is within your potential to make incremental improvements to help them in that pursuit?
Excellent question. I think The interesting thing, because it is a short week, this is probably not the week, right? Let's call it make a transaction, bring in a new player per se, because that player wouldn't know, the schematics. And we got a quality opponent against Dallas. But I do think what you continue doing is navigating, right? How are we evolving? Where are we at? What are we strong at? What are we not as strong at? And at the end of the day, when you're not as strong at something, do you maybe eliminate that, from the repertoire that year? Can a new player, right, bring that repertoire some life? And that's just something that like we're doing as a team. It evolves. It takes time. It takes study. It just doesn't happen fast.
Les, do the lessons of a winless November last year turned into an undefeated December serve as a valuable frame of reference when we do hit a rough patch like this? What I do think it does from a macro standpoint is and 2022 is different than 21. From a macro level standpoint, though, all of us, most of us in this building know what it's like to go through, right, a 3-game losing streak. So we're just on a 1-game losing streak, but let's just say we've lost 2 of 4. Point being, all of us know this. It's just that was November. This is just September. So there's still plenty of football left. Heck, there's still, 13 regular season games, a lot more playoffs. End of the day, that's a long way away. The macro lesson is all you can really do is focus on this week, and then once this week's over, focus on the next. And at the end of the day, you can start counting, and see where it all is. Before we get your take on the 2022 edition of the Dallas Cowboys, just a quick reflection on what they've meant to the Rams' return to Los Angeles, be it the first preseason game at the Coliseum, the first playoff win with Sean McVay as the head coach, first win at SoFi, unfortunately in front of an empty building, but nonetheless looking forward to seeing the Star back at SoFi on Sunday in Week 5. What have the rivalry with the Cowboys meant to you?
Wow, I think I think when you play the Dallas Cowboys and you see that star and you understand why they're the brand they are, is like when you see that star, you're like, okay, we're in the NFL. Like that, it's just something about that star.
All right, let's book you next time following a win.
Definitely.
A long week.
I didn't know that.
Maybe even an open date, a Victory Monday.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Keep your calendar clear.
I like talking to you. I didn't know it was after losses. Yeah, just like the Les Show.
And thanks for letting us take over your space. We do love the new digs.
Definitely.
Oh, the new digs are awesome. Can't wait to get them back.
Come springtime, the next draft season. For our general manager, Les Snead, and DeMarco Farr, I'm JB Long. Thank you, as always, for joining us for this edition of the Coach McVay Show, presented by Microsoft Surface.
Ain't no better stage, baby. Fly around, let's play mean, let's play physical, from start to finish.
Monday Night Football, baby, let's turn on.
You are watching Rams 360.
Ain't no better stage, baby. Let's fly around, let's play mean, let's play physical, from start to finish.
Monday Night Football, baby, let's turn on.
Each game is its own separate entity. Each play is its own separate entity. There were some opportunities where, we felt like we were able to get some good drives, and then we had one play that set us back. You get behind the sticks against a great defense like that, it's challenging. But there's been, so many different moving parts, so many different things that we're continuing to try to piece together week in and week out. And that's our job. And that's what we've got to do a better job of, starting with me.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. We're still in it. Let's get it.
Our guys battled. They're competing, as well as they can. And, we've got to do better, and I got to do a better job. And that's, that what we're going to continue to work towards and not make any excuses about, the different things that we're working through.
Garoppolo opens up right, feeds Wilson. He's denied. The Rams run it away. That'll be a loss of 1 as Wagner stands tall again.
Now something goes our way. Something goes our way. We need.
That's the beauty of football. There's so many different things that go into it to try to really be able to have a complete team game and come away with the result, that you're hunting up. And that's what's exciting about, on a short week, having an opportunity to respond and not dwell on it too much, but not minimize the things that need to be cleaned up.
I got confidence in everybody that's back there. I was really impressed with our depth, and I think that's shown.
you know, these last few games with guys coming out, you know, other guys coming in, stepping in and making big plays and big moments.
Stay tuned for more Rams 360.
Every NFL game kind of presents its own challenge when it comes to bumps and bruises. When you come out of it, you never know how it's going to shake out. You know, whoever we have out there, you know, this week to start the game may not be the same group that finishes. Whatever it is, just like it wasn't last week, you never know going into a game. So it's where you got to trust your preparation.
It's probably been more moving parts for us since I've ever been here, none of which is an excuse because the game is going to go on. We got to be ready to go. And I think the biggest challenge for us is, you know, it doesn't really matter how we do it, but what is the best way to really put all three phases together to try to go beat the Dallas Cowboys?
I got confidence in everybody that's back there. I was really impressed with our depth, and I think that's shown, you know, these last few games with guys coming out, you know, other guys coming in, stepping in and making big plays and big moments.
Those guys trust themselves, trust all the time they spend together, you know, the fundamentals of hitting blocks and going out there and playing. I trust those guys they're here for a reason, right? Those guys are on our team for a reason. They have the ability to go out there and execute the offense that we run, and they did a good job the other night of stepping in, and you know, it's a difficult environment against a really good front, and those guys came in and played well.
It's about our offense, our defense, our special teams, and ultimately our team playing good football and what we feel like is the best ways for all three phases to come together and how we match up and how we play in that 3.5-hour window.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next week for more Rams 360.